Hi there, Karen here for our Friday update today. Just want to say hello, first of all. We're going to be doing this weekly via video as a way of reaching Color Vowel teachers more easily. I know that I don't read my email very easily. There's just so much of it, and it's sort of hard to sort through it all. And so I tend to just look for the most important things, and I can miss out on just this kind of touching base. So I don't know if you want to subscribe, then you'll be seeing this on Fridays. You can watch it over your cup of coffee or your cup of tea, what have you. And I'll try to keep these really short. And I'll also try to give a lot of visual signaling, like, this kind of thing as we move along. So what is important this week? Let's take a look. I think in this session, what I'll be doing each time is sharing a thought, and I do have a thought today, and I'll just kind of summarize it here, and it's start with the heart. I'll learn how to point correctly. Start with the heart. This has been rolling around in my mind all week in response to a teacher who posted kind of a crisis question in one of the Facebook groups that I follow about working with English language learners, or multilingual learners, as now we call them. So I'll come back to this, start with the heart, okay? But first, let's take care of a few things. Important tech update. Maybe you've seen by now, but Flip, otherwise, previously known as Flipgrid, is now going to be unavailable as of July 1st. So if you use Flip with your students, or if you've used it with us in our courses, our Color Vowel courses, we will not be using it in just a couple more weeks. So we have gone from Flip. We've quickly had to flip to something else. I was mad for about 3 days, and then Jennifer kept me in line, and we got really functional, and she did some really great research. And we found that, as with many unwanted or unexpected changes, we're actually heading in a really good new direction. So I'm happy to announce that we're going to be moving over to VoiceThread. We worked with the VoiceThread representative just this past week with a great demo. They have instructional designers on staff who this is a group that really cares about education. And I know Flip did too, but boy, I'm happy to be moving forward with VoiceThread. Will it, involve a learning curve? Yeah, we're all going to be learning, but I think we'll all be the better for it. We all know technology is here to stay. So when we make these little pivots, they are good for us. And I think VoiceThread, you're just going to see it has so much going for it that we never imagined when we were using Flip. So I'm very happy about that change. That will be taking place immediately, like ready for our July courses. So let's talk about some of our upcoming courses, so you know about those. Coming up in July, usually July is a quiet month. It's a month when we go on vacation. Actually, we'll do a little of that. I'll talk about that in a minute. But we do have Gemma Archer. She'll be teaching our level 1 practicum course this July. And so join us. She'll be there, and also Lynn Swanda, who's the coach. So the two of them will be using VoiceThread with you, and it'll be a lot of fun. For any teacher who's new to Color Vowel, if you've been meaning to get trained, if you've already done basics, you can add this on as, the way to complete your certificate. It's very practical. You definitely walk away knowing that you know those strategies, the Color Vowel strategies that we use, including the open hand, the ways that we use flooding or acoustic repetition of, rhythm, all kinds of things. So just come and join us. You'll be amazed at what you can do with your instruction with this basic training, this level 1 training, okay? If you haven't done level 1 basics, by the way, that's our self-paced asynchronous course. You can get that ready to go, do that on your own time or with this course. So it works both ways, okay? So Gemma is teaching this course. A little note, Gemma, is from Scotland. And so this is like a perfect little cohort if you are a Commonwealth speaker of English, or if you have been in a Commonwealth environment, or you're interested in British English, or you've been teaching with a British English system. This is especially attuned to that. Gemma will be using not only the Color Vowel chart, but also the Commonwealth Color Vowel chart. So just putting that out there. And if you didn't know that there was a Commonwealth Color Vowel chart, there is. I'll just show you. This is the Color Vowel chart, which started in North America, of course, and this is the Commonwealth Color Vowel chart. So I'll let you look one more time. This one versus that one. So Gemma will be using both, and you're going to feel very, multi-dialectal. It's really awesome. So that's our July offering. And then in August, I'll be teaching around along with I'm not sure who the coach is, but it might be Lynn, it might be someone else. But anyway, I'll be teaching this August 2024 cohort of the level 1 practicum. So visit courses on our website at learn.colorvowel.com to see the times and so forth. But again, 4-week course. We have 1 week of orientation and tech onboarding so that you feel really comfortable. Jennifer leads that. And then we'll be getting started. So come on in and join me there. Okay, so we have 2 of those coming up. More imminently, a week from today, I'll be teaching a course on Color Vowel for young learners. So think of young learners as something like pre-K through 3rd grade. That's that classic kind of, 3rd grade, and then 4th is when you, let's see, what do they say? They say you learn to read and then you read to learn after that. Well, it is a kind of a nice, say, frame in terms of development to think about preschool up through 3rd grade. And what I'll be sharing with you, and this is a 4-hour workshop. I've priced it really economically, by the way. So it's a very easy lift for you. What we'll be doing is several activities that I've already piloted through the years and I know are just really winners. They work with younger children to build phonemic awareness without use of the printed word or bridging into the use of the printed word by focusing on the oral first. Okay, so join me for that. You might be curious about how best to join me for that. So I wanted to move over to our website for a minute. Part of our website has this wonderful calendar. We call this can you still see me? The interactive calendar. And what I love about this calendar is you can do so many things with it. But first of all, it's in your time zone. I think that's what I want to point out first. So if you look down in the lower, let's see, the lower right corner, kind of where you see my hand back there. Let me just kind of adjust here so you can see. There we go. So down over here in this corner, you'll see that there's a time zone selection and you can check your time zone. But just looking down there, here's that workshop. Okay. And most of our upcoming events have a registration link. If they don't, they're soon coming. Okay. So when you go there, you can see all of the details of this workshop. It's just $39. It's coming up on Friday. It's from 2 to 5 Eastern time. So maybe a lot of you are out of school now. Maybe you'll have time. I'd love you to join me. If you can't join live, I made it an easy lift so you can also just buy it and watch the recorded session, get all of the same materials. So if that's your preference or if that's your need, you can purchase it that way as well. Okay, so we'll be posting the recorded session within 48 hours of the live session. Okay, and I can tell you already that several of the live participants are just wonderful. They'll ask all those really great questions. So you can basically trust that it's going to be not just me talking, but we'll be doing things together and they'll be asking some great questions and making some great recommendations. Okay. Let's see. I wanted to come back over here for a sec. Oh, also in that calendar, you'll see that we have Fridays at coming up. So if you come down, I wonder where Fridays at went. Oh, Pure English Practice. That's what I mean. Okay, so when you're here in Pure English Practice, that is twice a month. And I'd just like to let you know that this coming Pure English Practice, get me a little smaller here, is focused on Blue Canoe. Hold on a sec. I'm doing too many things at once. There we go. So Blue Canoe, if you are curious about what's been going on lately, there's a neat new feature that I'd like to highlight. And if we're lucky, we'll have one of the representatives from Blue Canoe there to answer some of your questions. So come on in, take a look at what's going on over there. So we're always happy to partner with Blue Canoe and highlight their latest work. Okay. July. Let's talk about July. And I mentioned vacation. There is vacation coming for the office too. Our office will be closed July 15th through 26th. I will be off doing something with my family, as will Jennifer. And so we will be running that level 1 practicum cohort where Lynn and Gemma will hold down the ship and steer it right. And then otherwise we'll be back on the 27th, okay? And able to answer emails and so forth. So just don't be surprised if you don't hear back. We'll be setting up our little messages so you hear back from us. If you email us, you'll know that we are out of the office, okay? All right, finally, I want to come back to this start with the heart idea that I've been thinking about. Most of what we do is called Color Vowel, which is training teachers in this way of noticing English, how it sounds and how it connects to the written word. But the other part of our company is English Language Training Solutions. And back when I created the name of the company with Shirley in 2011, I don't know, I've always liked it. And that's because we think about solutions. So when I read people's posts, as I did on Facebook recently, I really think in that way. And I try to think about the simplest solution first, because it can always get more complicated from there. So, bear with me. What I'm going to share is what I saw in the Facebook group, which was something like this. It was someone who posted, said, help, I'll be teaching 23rd grade newcomer MLs, multilingual learners, this summer, and there's no curriculum. Help. And she went on to say something like, I don't even know how to start with them on the first day. I don't know what to do. And so that's the part that actually got to me, was I don't even know what to do with them on the first day. And I looked at the wording and I kind of summarized or paraphrased it here. Just how much this teacher is painting herself into a corner already with 20 of them, and they're third grade, newcomer, ML, all these labels that kind of narrow. I think with each label, we narrow our thinking. Like if it were just third graders, I'd be fine. Or if it were just 20 people, it'd be fine. Or if it were not newcomers, I'd be fine. Or if they weren't multilingual learners, I would be fine. It's sort of, that's the implication, I think, when we stack up a bunch of descriptors along with, the essential question. Which is I've got these kids coming. They are new to this country. They're new to this country. They are learning English, and they're multilingual, meaning they come with their languages, right? So let's think about that. Like, what can you do on the first day, let alone the first day, she wrote. And I just thought, I think I have to go back to my idea of start with the heart. Like, if I think about these kids coming into my room, they've been traveling and they've been adjusting and they've been seeing all these new things. And now today they have to walk into my classroom. And I'm guessing that some of them are feeling a little nervous, maybe scared, maybe just worried, like, what's this going to be like? I know every time I've taken my daughter to a new camp or a new class or first day of school, there's always that apprehension as she feels like I'm afraid and I'm scared. And so that's like every kid on earth feels that way on the first day of something. And then, these are kids that feel even more maybe like that, right? It's like going to be in a language that isn't quite theirs yet. And it's going to be just different from anything they've ever experienced. So I would say, instead of adding to, the concern by like, I don't know what to do with them, I would say, you know exactly what to do with them, which is to love them. You have to start with them, start with your heart and connect with them and let them know through what you do on that first day that everything else considered, you care about them and you care about their success as people, right? We're not WIDA, not access scores, not what's going to happen next, or the IEPs, or all the stuff I hear about that is troublesome, and it's real stuff. I'm not setting that aside as irrelevant, but all of that can wait. And in the end, you need to let these little kids know that you're there for them. And so what would I do practically? I started thinking, well, Karen, that's easy to, say all that stuff. But really, what would you do? And I thought, well, I would start with their names. because I know that every one of us has one, first of all. We care about our names. We need those names. We need to know each other's names easily. And so it'd be so appropriate to start with names. The next thing I would do is with that, not next, but with it, I would build in a kind of a sneaky, let me see what I have here, a kind of sneaky informal assessment. So what I might do is, I don't know, get a bunch of index cards and I have everybody in a circle. That's the next thing. I want to be with them in a community, not desks out there. I want to be in a circle. And so if I need to, I'll go outside because it's summer. That'd be great. But it needs to be a small enough circle we can hear each other, not too much noise. And then I just want to hear, what is your name? And I'll already have my list, so I can see how they're spelled maybe on my roster. But I think if I were that kid, I would want to be seen in a nice way, and I'd want to hear, know what the teacher's asking me. So if the teacher says first, Karen or Ms. Taylor, however you want to do it, I always go with first names. And I would model what I'm going to do, which is I'll take that card and I will write my name on it and I will spell as I write it, Karen. And then I have a place to put it, or maybe I'll put it on the ground in front of me. And I'll do that for each of them. And I think we can do that pretty quickly. I know that might seem like a long time to go around, but I do think that a moment where we just start with everybody's name, everybody's face, something like that. And maybe we have A, it's a letter that's going to show up in a lot of names. And so maybe every time the letter A shows up, I'll point back at my A and we'll say A together. Or maybe we also know that O is going to show up in a lot of names. So I'll just start with A and then O. So we have some participation each time I'm writing the student's name. It's not just me. And at the same time, I'm not requiring that anybody perform any kind of background knowledge or proficiency, okay? But that sneaky assessment in there is just seeing like, who do I have? Who's more extroverted? Who's more introverted? Who's quieter? Who's, already wiggly? That'll be good to know. And it's just a moment that demonstrates my sincere, starting with that heart. And then without going too much longer, the next thing I would do is I would likely start with a song, but I'm going to say that, song, it can be a poem, something that's fun, and that's inviting to participate in. And the first one that comes to mind with that age group, and it pretty much tops out at grade 3, maybe into grade 4. But that's just perfect, is apples and bananas. Why? Because we can motion what's going on here. So it's, if you haven't heard it before, it's, I like to eat, eat, eat apples and bananas. I'd have both an apple and a banana, by the way. I like to eat, eat, eat apples and bananas, right? If you're not familiar with it, what's neat about it is that that's the whole song, first of all. So it's really easy to learn the notes. It's also easy to learn the words, even if you don't really know any English yet. Plus you have those two visuals. So you have apples, bananas. And then what's fun about it that bridges pretty quickly is after you say that one phrase I've just sung, you can, you do it 4 times, by the way. And then you say, oh, I like to oat, opals and bananas. And you have the mirror back. I like to oat, opals and bananas, right? You can keep doing that 3, 4, 5 times. And again, you want to do the 4 full repetitions where you're having fun with it, just one different change. And then the next one might be white, right? Ite, apples and bananas. I like to eat apples and bananas. The funnest one, and the one I save for last, maybe it'll be the second time you do it the next day, is oi, turquoise, right? Oi. That one always gets giggles from kids because it's really complicated. I like to oit, oipels and benoinois, and so forth. So that's a song that you don't have to know what it's saying. It doesn't have a lot of words, and you're already building, without them even knowing it, phonemic awareness. You're already growing an awareness of a vowel sound, the consonant sounds, a frame, and switching out one sound for another. And that is just a really wonderful, sneaky phonemic awareness lesson right there. You can also then go ahead and, chop up the apples and bananas and hand them out. And I mean, there's all kinds of fun ways that you can start to bridge into a lesson, just establishing your classroom culture. You're going to have a snack probably, so why not build that into the lesson plan? And a lot of TPR, a lot of total physical response, those kinds of things. Okay, so I've just outlined a lesson for a group that you're not teaching probably, but I was thinking about this one teacher all week, and how if you put aside all those labels for just a moment and say, I'm going to do things that create a sense of community and a sense of trust, a sense of kindness. If you start with the heart, you'll be good. And so those are my thoughts for the day. Hey, happy Friday. Thanks for sticking with me. Please, I know if this is what we hear on videos all the time, but if you like this video with the it helps create an algorithm that will deliver it to your YouTube feed. And I don't know if you watch YouTube like I do. I watch it over coffee and I kind of catch up on things that have happened in the past 24 hours. So if you like it, if you subscribe, it will show up in your feed. If you like it, it will become more known to other people. So liking is good, subscribing is good, and commenting is food for my soul, from your heart to mine. So tell me what you like, tell me what you want to hear about. If you have a word or a thought or a question, all those kinds of things can go there. Okay, so that's my Friday update. Thanks so much for being with me, and I'll see you again soon. Have a great week.